Hello, hello. All right, so it seems like I already have two in the chat. I have Blue Justin and Collector Movie Man. Thank you for coming. Oh, and Acres of Movies just showed up. Hello, Acres. Glad to have you here. So maybe I'll wait a couple of minutes to let some people come in because I know a few people wanted to get on. Can you guys hear me okay? Excited for the book title reveal. Yes, and I'm so excited to share it with you. Okay, so Collector Movie Man says it can hear good, so I assume that means everyone can hear me good. Yeah. So let's just get a little bit into like how long I've been writing this book and everything. I've been writing this book for less than a year now. This isn't the first book I've written. You have no sound? Let's see. I wonder if it's on his end. Acres, can you hear me? I hear. Okay, Justin, there might be something on your end. But I want to make sure everyone can hear before I start. Just let me know if you can hear me whenever you can hear me. Also, would you like to get the title reveal first, or would you like me to read you the blurb? Yeah, it looks like it, Justin. Here, I'm going to send him a message if he wants to leave and come back. I'll wait for him. I will wait for you. Yeah, I don't want to start this without Justin because Justin has been, you know, he's been a follower of mine for a really long time, and he's been super excited about this book. So I don't want to leave him in the dark. Okay, so Dementia Scott joined. Hi, Scott. Glad to have you here. And Stacey says, fun stream with you and Collector Movie Man. Yeah, that was really fun. Yeah, I have to start doing more live streams with more people. Now that I have more time, I will probably be doing that. Oh, and he's just saying hi to Acres. Yep. I guess we can do that while we wait for Justin. Favorite vehicle in a movie? I think I would probably just have to go with the Batmobile. Or I don't know. I like Kit from Knight Rider. Yeah, so I don't use Instagram service. Oh, well, I do a lot of my promotional material on Instagram, but that's why I'm also trying to market this book over here on YouTube as well, so the people that don't have Instagram can hear about what I have to do or what I'm doing. Collector Movie Man wants to know your YouTube name, Acres of Movies. I think it is just Acres of Movies, though. I just subscribed to her. I may make an audio YouTube podcast on my YouTube. Oh, that would be really cool. Yeah, if you do that, that would be awesome. Yeah, so we're just gonna wait on Justin. But I guess we can get into like a little bit of this particular book. This particular book I have been writing for about a year. It's not my first story I've ever written. I've written a few stories in my life. I've only had one published before. Okay, so Justin's back, listening on phone, watching on PC. Oh, so the sound on his PC died. Well, as long as you can hear me, Justin. I didn't want to start this without you. All right. So now that we have Justin back, let's get started. Hold on, Acres had a question. Thanks. Do you have any romantic fantasy movies? What are the ones you're interested in writing, books or stories in general? Thanks. Oh, I guess you can say movies were a form of how can I say this? I guess they were, in a sense, something that interested me and made me want to write, because there was a point in time where I did want to write movies, and I did do a few movie scripts myself. Writing movie scripts, though, is really hard work. It is much more difficult than writing a book, because it's a totally completely different thing. But I've always been fascinated with storytelling, from like video games, movies, even books. I'm a big reader too, so a lot of things interested me. As for romantic fantasies, I'm actually not a very big romance person. I don't really care for romantic stories all that much, but my favorite romantic fantasy would probably have to be either Her with Joaquin Phoenix. Well, that's more of a sci-fi, though. That's more of a romantic sci-fi. Romantic fantasy. How about Ever After? That Snow White tale, Ever After. I really like that. And Justin's just laughing. Okay. Because I am also writing another book. The other book that I won't be talking about, I've been writing longer than this book. But I've had the idea for this book when I was in middle school. I just haven't written it until now, because I kind of got burnt out with my other series that I'm writing. So I just started something fresh and new, and I wanted to bring back the story that I was interested in writing when I was in middle school. And that's basically what this book is. Now, let's just go ahead and I'll tell you the title of the book. The title of the book is called Requiem of an Aria. I'll put it in the chat too. Requiem of an Aria. So Requiem of an Aria is the name of this story. I didn't want just a typical generic horror story title. I wanted a more symbolic title. So how I came up with Requiem of an Aria, well, Requiem has many definitions, but I would say the Requiem in this particular title would mean a memory, or a memoir or a memory. An aria being a song. So the remembrance of a song is basically the title of the book. I'm reading one of the greatest romantic fantasies right now. It's called the Imperium Trilogy. The third book just came out. I can't say I've ever heard of that. I will have to look into that book series. Great title. This is so cool. Thank you so much. Yeah, I wanted a very symbolic title. And Requiem of an Aria, like the memoir or the memory of a song, is actually very important to the story. This story is a crime horror, supernatural horror. So it's a crime supernatural horror. And the reason why I wanted like a title that kind of symbolized music is because the killer in the song in the book uses music to kill their victims. I think you would like it, Ray. There's dragons in it. Oh, cool. Yeah, I'll have to look into that. Excited to read or see the stories. Thanks. Yeah, I'm not going to show the cover art right now, but the cover art is finished. So in a future live stream, or maybe I'll have to pre-record it. Yeah, I'll have to pre-record it, but I'll put it on as, you know, it being streamed so I can join the chat and I can talk with you guys during the video. But yeah, I will be showing the cover art really soon. I'm really, really happy with the cover art. I made it myself. I had trouble getting in contact with my artist at the time, and my artist had gone MIA for about 5 months, and I needed the cover art done like now. So I just made the cover art myself, and I made it on an app called Canva. But it's really pretty. It turned out kind of like how I wanted it, so I'm really, really excited to share that with you down the road. Have you ever read a book series that starts with My Father's Dragon? No, I haven't. I think book 2 is called The Dragons of Blue Land. No, I have not. I will have to look into that too. Oh, yeah. Hi, Cinder. Yeah, she's running around. She's being crazy. She's looking out the window right now. Yeah. So for me, I really like symbolic titles. I don't like generic titles. So I wanted to do a symbolic title, and I'm very, very happy with the title, Requiem of an Aria. And like I said, the killer does use music to kill their victim. I'm not going to tell you anything about the killer. The only thing you need to know is that it has supernatural entities about it, or supernatural qualities about it, but it kills using music. So I thought that would be really cool. In the main character, eventually the main character will remember that when he spoke to a lot of victims, they spoke about music, hearing music or hearing humming. So I thought that was a very interesting title, and I'm very pleased with it. Now, I also do have the blurb. The blurb is like the little synopsis that goes on the back of the book. So I will also read that to you guys. I actually have the back of the book finished too. The only thing I have to wait for is for the book to be fully complete before I can make the spine. Let's see if I can read this without screwing up. When children are found murdered and mutilated in their own beds across Chicago, Detective Jay Matthews is assigned to solve the case. With little physical evidence to link a suspect to the crimes, his superiors request the aid of the FBI, who sends a single agent to assist in the increasingly desperate investigation. As the murders escalate, Jay's professional life begins to unravel when the case strikes too close to home. Nothing could prepare him for the terrifying truth, the confrontation with something beyond explanation that challenges everything he believes about reality. So that is the blurb of the book, and that is basically what the book is going to be about. Another fan of the title, Requiem of Naria, both can be connected with music, which works. Yes. Oh, yeah, because the other definition for Requiem also means music. Yeah. And the other definition is it's a Catholic definition, but it's basically like a thing of the dead. That's great. Approximately how many pages? I'm still not finished with the manuscript yet, so it's still in its first draft. I would say anywhere from 400 to maybe 600, around there. But I'm not completely done with it yet. I'm only about maybe 70% done with it. This sounds very interesting, Ray. Is there going to be an audio release of the book? Ooh, that's something I want to do. I do want to have an audio release of the book. However, that's extremely expensive. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that with this book, but maybe it's something I can do in the future. Because when it comes to audiobooks, you have to pay an actor to read the book. And actors cost a lot of money. So that's the only reason why I probably won't be doing that. At least not yet. It could be down the line. All right, let's see. My dog likes and needs to go to the park in the off-premise ground gate. How to hunt and track various things. Oh, that's cool. There is actually going to be a dog in this story too. And he is an FBI cadaver dog. He's not Jay's dog, he's the FBI agent's dog. You have a nice voice for an audiobook, maybe. Maybe I could do it myself, but yeah. But see, sometimes I'm somewhat dyslexic, so when I read out loud, sometimes I mess up my words, as you seen like when I was reading that to you. I can read there, perhaps. That would be really nice. I like going to like see my library. The library that's close to my house has this nice like courtyard with a fountain and everything. It's so peaceful out there. I love to go there and read. I'll send you a picture of the first 3 books. Oh, okay. Yeah, send me the thing of the books. I'll look into them. But I found out she's going to be writing about 5 books, just 5 books in the series. Yeah, I haven't really read anything as of late. I think the last book I read was The Wild Robot. Your voiceovers for Boulder's Gate. So audio. Maybe I can think about doing it. I might have a friend who might be able to do it too. Yep, 5 books in the series. That'd be really cool. For Requiem, I only plan for this one book, but I am ending it in a way where there could be more books in the future if I do decide to do more with Requiem. But as of right now, it's just a standoff. It's a one-time book. I would too. I just run into real life trolls, people that want to talk to me. Yeah. Oh, that's fine. a lot of nice public places to read in theory, but I don't feel comfortable off on the grounds very often. Yeah, that's understandable, especially if you don't exactly live in the safest place in the world. I know I don't particularly do. I wouldn't say there's a whole lot of crime that happens around where I live, but we do have a pretty big uh, homeless issue where I am, and I've been screamed at a few times by homeless people. But yeah, I do occasionally hear about the occasional murder or something that happens in my area too. So I don't usually go out a lot. I just go to, library, my job, Walmart. I'm planning to do a live stream for my 30-year-old birthday. Would you like to join me next month? Sure. As long as it's within, my time schedule. You should know my time schedule, Scott. If not, we could talk about it. Because I know that we ended up doing the live stream on Collector Movie Man's channel after I got home from work, but I literally work all day, so depends on whether or not if you're able to do it late or if you want to do it at a more decent hour. The Last of Us Season 2 starts in April. Would you like to do a live stream? I don't have HBO right now. Because I only have it when there's certain shows I want to watch. I'll get back to you on that, if that's something I want to do. Oh, awesome. Dementia Scott, I would definitely like to join you and do an Amazon wish list. Oh, okay. So he wants your wish list, Scott. My birthday is next month. Happy birthday. Even Ever After was good. You enjoy reading fantasy and all sorts of novels. I do too. I do have a preference. Like, I like crime stories. I also like fantasy drama, but I tend to like dark fantasies more. I am somebody who likes cautionary tales and dark stories. Like, my favorite author of all time is George Orwell. And he was like the master at writing cautionary tales. Because it was last year, I think I read 1984 for the first time. That was a terrifying concept, but a very good story. Yeah, see, my sister published 2 books already. She has one more book that's coming out this year, and she writes fantasy novels. And I haven't gotten to her books yet because they're fantasy novels. They're romantic fantasies. And see, I really don't like romance. I'm not a very big romance reader. Have you ever read any World War II books? I have, actually. One of my favorite was why is the name of the book escaping me? It was like an autobiography. I'm going to see if I could try to remember. It was a Holocaust survivor book. Night. That was the name of the book. Night. Unfortunately, this author did pass away a few years ago. but I was actually lucky to meet him after shortly reading this book, and he was an amazing person. And this book was extremely sad. It was about his life when he was in a concentration camp when he was a little boy. That book was probably one of the best Holocaust World War II books I've ever read. You would really like some Indonesian folklore and fairy tales. They tend to be very dark. I can translate some of the titles. It might make a little, well, but yes, they are. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, I would definitely like that. I don't think I've read too many Asian folk or Indonesian folklore fairy tales. If I have, I can't think of any off of the top of my head. Oh, so you want to read some World War II books? Yeah, if you haven't read Night, you should check out Night. The the author's name was L Wiesel Weasel. I can't pronounce his name, but yeah, I would definitely recommend that. Have you read any autobiographies? I have, on actors, presidents, and some well-known people. Like I read an autobiography on God, what was the name of the I'm forgetting the name. I'm trying to think of some autobiographies that I've read. Like I said, Night was a really good autobiography. There was I read an autobiography on why am I forgetting that individual's name? If it comes to me, I'll let you know. I wouldn't say autobiographies are like the biggest thing I read, but I do enjoy learning about historical figures. I recommend Time and Mass. It's the one about the girl that had to survive a giant that could eat the world. That sounds familiar. I may or could have read that at some point. I read 3 of Carrie Fisher's autobiographies. And then I read Billy D. Williams. Yeah, when it comes to actors, I've read autobiographies on Angelina Jolie, Johnny Depp. Yeah, those are probably like the top people I've read, top actors I've read autobiographies on. Is a Robin Hood type story. Ooh, like okay, like I like Robin Hood. I like Robin Hood's story. So yeah, I'll have to look into that. Si Putang. Okay, yeah, I'll have to look that up. Man Searching for Meaning, the classic tribe to hope from the Holocaust, is one of the concentration camps. It's very The Man Searching for Meaning. That also kind of sounds familiar, but I don't think I've read that. So Eggers wants to know if Collector Movie Man has seen Carrie Fisher. Postcards from the Edge. But that doesn't sound familiar to me. But I did happen to get in touch with my artist just recently, and my artist is going to have portrait of my characters soon. So I'll probably also do like a meet the cast for all the characters of Requiem uh soon in the future, whenever those drawings get done. She's only doing the two main characters though. I do have like some AI pictures of like stand-in pictures for the other characters that I could show if you wanted to get like an idea of like what the other characters look like. Last year I read Killers of the Flower Moon, and I thought that book was really good but sad. Killers of the Flower Moon, that was I've never read the book, but I heard the movie was fantastic. Um I'll have to get the book, and I know Killers of the Flower Moon is something my bootlegger can make me. So, I don't know. I'll look into that. Patrick Stewart's autobiography. He would be an interesting person to read a autobiography on. Do you have a typewriter? I'd like to write one of those, but I'm remembering using one before and it takes a lot of paper. I don't use a typewriter. I use, for my story, Google Docs. Google Docs is it's just like Microsoft Word, but it's free. And the only thing I would say that Google Docs is pretty bad at, it's pretty bad at editing. It does not let you know if you have something spelt wrong. It doesn't really let you know if you type something and it doesn't make sense. It really doesn't tell you any of that. So that's why I'm dreading my editing process, because my editing process is going to probably take longer than writing the damn book, quite honestly. But I'm still hoping for a fall release. So I'm still aiming for a fall release this year. I'm not sure when. I'm aiming for a Halloween release, but it could stretch into November. But fall is the deadline I gave myself. So I'm like, it needs to be ready for publication in the fall. But yeah, I've thought about getting a typewriter though, because I like to handwrite a lot. So I'm like, well, typewriter would be much faster than handwriting. But and the cool thing about Google Docs is that it's also an app, so you can get it on your phone. So if you're away from your computer and you're just sitting and waiting and you need something to do, you could just pull open your Google Docs and you can write on your phone too. So Google Docs is really good for that too. I also read Alec Rickman's autobiography. The sad part is when he died before it was out. Yeah, Alan Rickman's passing was really sad. I really liked Alan Rickman. Yeah, I would probably like to read a autobiography on Alan Rickman. Can't say that I have. Hey, Pepe. You want to see Cinder? Here's Cinder. My baby girl. Yeah, she's 6 years old. She'll be 7 this year. Yeah. I did an update on Instagram about her vet visit, and she's doing very good. She's very healthy. Also read Ice-T. Law and Order SUV. And yeah, she is adorable. I can't say I've read anything on Ice-T. But that would be probably interesting, knowing his history. How old is she? She's 6. She will be 7 this year. Yeah, she was born in 2018. Late 2018. Yeah, so oh, your kitty and my kitty are around the same age. Oh, that's cute. Yeah, Cinder is amazing. Honestly, I thought she was gonna give the vet hell, but I mean, she screamed and cried on the way there. She didn't like the car ride, but once she got into the building, she was pretty chill. And she went willingly with the vet to go get weighed and stuff like that. She didn't even try to fight them. And then when the doctor came in to give her shots, she just sat there. She didn't scream. She didn't try to get away. She just sat there and didn't even flinch when he put the needle into her. Like, she's a great cat. I was shocked because I was like, you know, she's never bitten anyone before, but I'm like, she might bite you if you stick a needle in her. But nope. My dog is 3. The rain today was insane. Oh, you had rain where you were? Where do you live? I live in Florida. Uh, the other day we had some rain, but we're just having like insane cold fronts because of all that pressure and everything that's coming off of the Arctic. Um, it actually started snowing in North Florida up towards like where Georgia is, but not. But the snowfall was unlike anything that they've ever had. The snow was almost like 6 inches. It was a little bit abnormal for Florida. It's not abnormal for Florida to get snow, North Florida to get snow, but to get that much snow, yeah. Oh, you read Matthew Perry's too? Yeah. Yeah, his death was unexpected. I recent message at your private terminal. Oh, my phone's talking to me. I recently got curious about uh Frankie Lyman. Frankie Lyman um came across my radar again recently, and I I know there's a movie about him. I might pick up that movie. The movie was named after his first song. Let's see, Frankie Lyman movie. It was named after his first song, which is escaping me. Oh, Why Do Fools Fall in Love? Yeah, so I'm very curious about checking out that movie because Frankie Lyman was a very interesting person that died way too soon, and I don't know. I like his music too, so he, he's one of those. He's one of the earlier people that Michael Jackson gained inspiration from. So I'm very, very curious about learning more about his life. Don't know who that is. Yeah, Frankie Lyman was an American singer from the 50s, 60s era, and yeah, he ended up dying really young. I think he was only like 20, 21 years old. But he was one of Michael Jackson's inspirations, and one of my favorite songs that he did wasn't necessarily his song. It was just more of a song that he sang. Was Itty Bitty Pretty One. I would recommend going to YouTube and looking up Itty Bitty Pretty One. Frankie Lyman. He had an incredible voice for being so young. Ignore the phone. It's probably my Instagram. Yeah, probably. My phone shouts at me when I get messages. So sometimes you'll hear it in the background. Didn't know it might have sound. It's all right. No worries. Also read Tom Felton, his autobiography. Yeah, Tom Felton. Yeah. Tom Felton also is somebody who has a very interesting early life. I don't know if you could really call it interesting because it really wasn't necessarily like a good upbringing from what I've heard, but it would be interesting to hear like his earlier life because Harry Potter was one of the things that saved that man's life. And if he didn't have Harry Potter, he doesn't even know if he would be here today. So, yeah, it's very interesting, Tom Felton's life. Yeah, yeah. See, he started getting addicted to alcohol and stuff like that. Yeah. Um, yeah. Who would I cast as a modern BIPOC of Frankie? I don't even know if he still acts anymore. Let me see. But this actor has like the same baby-like face that Frankie had. And I think he would be perfect. Let me see if I can pull up his name. But I'm not sure if he's still acting. I'll have to look up the cast. Is he still acting? Yeah, it still says that he's an American actor. Okay, so it would be Mark John Jeffries. Mark John Jeffries has that same baby face that Frankie had, and I think he would be a perfect Frankie in the looks. A new movie about Frankie. Thanks. Yeah. I didn't even know this movie existed. I was watching like a YouTube video about Frankie's early life, like how he got into singing and stuff like that. And it mentioned that movie and I immediately added it to uh my wish list. One of Barack Obama autobiography from Barnes and Nobles. I can't say I no. Barack Obama is not one of the presidents I actually read an autobiography on. Um, I read autobiographies on Reagan, Reagan, of course George Washington, and God, what was that president who was only president for a few days? That guy. I mean, like he's barely a president because he just got in there for a few days and then was replaced. Don't really like political books, but you like Barack Obama. The Barack Obama autobiography. Yeah, I wouldn't say that I'm somebody who's very big into politics myself, but like I'm aware of what's happening. Like I keep up with what's happening, but I'm like I don't really talk about it in my daily life or anything like that. Yes, he would be good. Wow, good idea. Without spoiling your plot too much, can you describe a character that you enjoyed writing so far? Um, I Jay has been a character that has been with me forever because, like I said, I had an idea for this book when I was in middle school, and my thought process with coming up with stories is usually the characters come to me first, and then I put them in the story. But I wouldn't necessarily say Jay is one of my favorite characters I've written, but as I was writing this book, his partner, the FBI agent who comes in, she's kind of weird. And I like her in a way that she is weird. Like when Jay first meets her, she like at the bare minimum says anything to him when they first meet. It's just kind of like they're like, hey, they shake hands and they meet, and he asks her a few questions, which she answers. She doesn't hide anything, but then she just falls silent and doesn't talk, and then Jay's just like, huh, okay. It's like, it's weird because she's not asking me any questions about myself or about the crime scene or anything like that. Like, so their dynamic is a bit weird when they first meet. They get better as their partnership grows. But yeah, Jessie was a weird character writing her. And see, me, I don't plan my characters. I wouldn't necessarily say I'm a pantser when I write, because I do have like a focal point. Like, I know where the story's going to end and I know all the major story beats, but when it comes to the characters, I kind of just let them do whatever they do. So I didn't intend for Jessie to be that way. She just kind of turned out that way. And I don't know, I've never written a character like that before. She was interesting. And yeah, she's a very quiet partner, and she only really talks if she has to. And she's very secretive and has a guard up, and she'll tell you the bare minimum, and she won't go into details. But Jay eventually does get through that barrier. So like I said, their partnership does grow. I have a question. Do you have a letterbox? No, I don't. Should I get one? Yeah, I don't really talk about that kind of stuff either. Yeah, it's just one of the reasons why I don't like to talk about it is because some people get really up in their feelings about it. And then fights can start and things like that, and it's like I don't have the energy to fight with somebody about something that really is overall out of our control. So I'm like, what's going to happen is going to happen, that kind of thing. Yes, I definitely should. Okay, I'll look into it. But yeah, Jessie was an interesting character to write. I wouldn't say she's my favorite, though. My favorite character I wrote has to be from my other book that is going to be published after this one. He doesn't have a name. He's just simply known right now as the Hunter. He might not even get a name. But the Hunter, his story is loss and grief and revenge is basically his story. And I have a plan for him, but it's going to be a short novella. It's not going to be like a big story. It's just going to be a short novella about a man who tries to get revenge on a pack of wolves that ripped his child apart, basically. And yeah, I got inspiration for that story from an anime, actually. But yeah, it's basically going to be a cautionary tale about revenge. That's really cool. The sci-fi fantasy movie Crawl is a great dark. I've never seen Crawl, but I've heard of it. We'll find out more rewatchable than the Star Wars movies. Ooh. I've heard of Crawl. I've actually, a lot of people have recommended that to me. So yeah, I should check that out soon. In a little bit, I'm going to have dinner with my mom, but not until 7:30. Okay. Well, we'll probably wrap it up before then. So you're good. But yeah, I'll get more into the characters of Requiem of an Aria when we do the character meet. And I'll have that up when I get the portraits from my artist, which I'm really, really excited to see how my artist interpreted the characters, because I'm giving my artist full creative liberty, so my artist can do anything they want. All I do is just send them the description of the character and I see what they do with it. So I'm curious to see how my artist interpreted the characters. A compact, fun story, the spider web woman character, and that was very interesting. And the villain henchman. I tend to like the henchman. I don't know. There's just something about a cool character that mostly sits in the background and then does the dirty work for the villain. Very good one with huge horse, in that they were trained to be movie ridden. Huh. Ridden in centuries. Awesome. Yeah, I'll definitely have to check out Kroll. I know it's been recommended to me before, but for some reason I just kept either forgetting about it or putting it off. Actually, yeah, I'll add that to my wish list right now. Wasn't Kroll, didn't a boutique label get the rights to Kroll at some point? I put the flamed hoofed horse into my RPG campaign. Don't expect a big budget for Kroll. Oh well, that's okay. Because when I read, when I watch a movie, I mean, if it has a good budget with good graphics and everything, that's a bonus. But they can easily win me over with good characters. If you have good characters, I'm in. Okay, you can shut up now. I don't know why she's talking so much. Turn that off. There you go. Yeah, like I tend to like indie movies more than Hollywood movies, because when when somebody has a love, um a love for making something, and it's like, I'm doing this because I love it, not for the money, kind of thing. And they create things that are incredible. And so, you know, I'm all for low budget indies, or just low budget movies in general, because if the love was put into the product, it's usually good. It was actually a pretty large budget for the time. $30 million? Yeah, that's a decent budget. When did Kroll come out? Mill Creek. Yeah, that's who has it right now. Mill Creek makes some good additions. I have a few Mill Creeks in my collection. 1983. Yeah. Yeah, 30,000 is pretty good for 1983. But could I expect it to probably be outdated? Yes. But that's fine. I can look past outdated, especially when I take the year it was made into consideration. Lots of English actors. Have I seen the movie Seven? Yes, I have. With uh why am I forgetting everyone's name right now? Samuel L. Jackson? Yeah. Someone produced it by Columbia. The characters are interesting, and I like the dialogue. Yeah, also, Seven had that Morgan Freeman. That's his name. Why did I think it was Samuel L. Jackson? Yeah, Morgan Freeman. And you know what? Morgan Freeman's like my favorite actor. How did I forget his name? The music score is epic. Yeah. Yeah, because Seven had that really interesting ending that like put everyone through a loop. When it comes to endings like that, I do appreciate them when they're done well, but then sometimes you get really bad endings like that where people try to be slick and then it ends up not being too slick. Also known for Carrie, Ohm, the giant hawk slayer, plays the Cyclops. Harrison Ford. I don't know. Harrison Ford, as of late, just seems to be just there for the paycheck nowadays. He doesn't seem to, I don't know, have that same drive he used to have when he was younger. I just ordered the Jaws book. I didn't know that was a movie, was based off of a book. Yes, and the book was based off of a true event, too. However, Bruce the Shark in real life was not a great white. He was a bull shark. Carry on. Yeah, the real event that inspired the book was pretty wild. He was a bull shark that got into a like a canal that ran through these houses, and the people that lived there used to swim in that little passage, and they got attacked by a bull shark that made that area its territory. Great book. I've never actually read the Jaws book though, but I did watch like a small documentary about the real shark. Yeah, you'll have to let me know how good it is. The most recent animal book I've read, like when it went to like animal attacks, would have to be Cujo. Oh, Ray, I wanted to tell you, I started reading Knights of the Seven Kingdoms, that sad Game of Thrones book that I showed you. Oh, really? How is it? Oh, you were correcting your spelling. Carry on? It doesn't ring any bells. Hope Steven Spielberg gets more to change and reply. Old time swimsuit. I'm like only on page 10 now. Yeah, you'll have to let me know when you finish that book. It would be a 4-quadrant hit for him and everyone. Yeah, probably. Jaws was very, very, very popular. And it even just got more popular as time went on. I would love a Jaws set in the future. That would be fun. You know, that would be kind of fun. You know, what Jaws was it where it was like a SeaWorld setting? Was that Jaws 3? because I like the theme park setting that was in that one. I think it was the third one, right? Yeah, I stopped reading it to read other books. Yeah, so it was Jaws 3. Not necessarily a great movie, but I did like the setup and the scene for that one, because a shark ripping a people apart in a theme park. I thought that was an excellent idea. That one was really fun. Yeah, like I said, not great, but yeah, it was definitely a fun concept, and I liked that one a lot because of just where it took place. That's where I liked it. Why I liked it. Uh, but yeah, when it comes to like animal attack books, yeah, Cujo was the last one I read because I realized I never read that book, so I wanted to give it a shot. The book was all right. It's very different from the movie, though. Carry On Camping, Carry On Scream, Carry. Hmm. So they're um, UK comedy movies from the 60s and 70s. Carry On, Carry On. Maybe I've heard that title in passing, but I don't think I've seen any of these. I'll have to look to see if like America has them. If America does, I'll definitely check them out. So that's cool. There's a trafficking dog in your book. Well, he's more of like a cadaver. So, uh, when Jesse brings him in, because he's an FBI cadaver, so he's not like a police department. So he comes in when you meet Jesse, and basically, um, he's there to try to sniff out any tracking. Yeah, you meant tracking. Oh, sorry. You did say tracking. I read it wrong. Okay, tracking. Um, yeah, you could say he's a tracking dog. He does do that kind of work. But what they really bring him in for is to search the apartments and everything and try to find them more clues and everything like that. But the dog is going to become more important to the story later on when they come closer to finding out what the killer is. Because the dog is going to recognize the scent, and when they find the killer, the dog is going to be parable in that part of the story. Yeah. Yeah, if you want to know the dog's name, his name is Brother, and he's a German Shepherd. I like Brother. Brother is actually was actually in another story I wrote a long time ago. Never published it, never did anything with it, but I really liked Brother. I liked the character, so I wanted to actually put him into a story where he would fit, and he fit pretty well into this story. So that's why I brought him into this story. So now he's actually going to be published. So there are usually same actors most of the time. Well, that's good. I like when they honestly keep the actors. It's when they change the actors that it kind of annoys me. I know sometimes it has to happen, but I'd rather them keep the characters. Did you like the movie Bright? Doesn't sound familiar. Let me look it up. Oh, that movie with yeah. You know, I did not see this movie. I heard it wasn't really all that great. But it's the one with Will Smith, if that's the one you're talking about. Yeah, I didn't see that movie. I know that the movie critic that I watch a lot because I have like a similar taste in movies to him, Jeremy Johns. He did not like that movie, and per his movie review, I decided to skip it. They aren't politically correct these days. Oh, so they're different stories that use the same actors in different roles. Ooh, okay. They aren't politically correct these days. I don't think a lot of things are politically correct these days. But yeah, I'll definitely look into the carry-ons. Thoughts on the Labyrinth remake and production? I heard that they were doing a Labyrinth remake. I don't know too much about it though, because I haven't really looked into it. Like, I don't know who's directing it. I don't know. Labyrinth was a movie that was a big part of my childhood growing up. I watched the movie so much that my mom got sick of the movie that she hid the movie from me so I couldn't watch it. I mean, that's how much I watched Labyrinth. But I mean, I guess it has been long enough. I don't know. I'll have to look into it more. Ray, I'm uploading the most recent videos with the pickups for December and January. Yeah, when you upload that, I'll definitely check it out. I have to do my monthly haul video because I'm not going to be buying any more movies this month, so I do need to get that recorded. Jeremy Johns personally knows and knew Max Landis, the Bright writer, so that may have been something in his craw before he saw the movie. Of all the movies he has liked, Bright is one I'd think he would. Yeah. Yeah, I remember him saying it wasn't very interesting. I don't know, it's been a while since I watched that review because that movie came out a while ago. But I think he just I forgot what rating he gave it. It was either like I wouldn't remember it and T minus, which means it's below average. But that's interesting. I didn't know that he actually knew the Bright writer though. That's a fun fact. Nobody will top Bowie. I don't know. I would agree personally. I don't think anyone could be the Goblin King like Bowie was. But I mean, it's old enough to where I'm like, okay, I can see them making a remake of it. It's not like what Disney is doing with Moana, where Moana came out only a few years ago, and now they're making a remake. That's insane. But Labyrinth has been out for quite a while, so them making a remake now is not too surprising. Because it's usually about remakes of old movies usually get made around the 30-year marker. And it's been over 30 years, so I can see them making a remake. Who they would cast, that'd be interesting to look into. But I don't know, remakes very rarely end up being better than the original. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Just have to see what they do. They both were employed by the same company in 2010. And they were on many shows, including movie fights. Many live events that were not live broadcast. That's interesting. I did not know that about them, or about Jeremy in general. Do you watch Sean Chandler? An actor? Oh, Sean Chandler. Oh no, he's a YouTube guy. I've seen his movie collection videos, but I wouldn't say like I'm an avid like viewer of his. But I check in every time he does like a complete movie collection, because I like to see. I like movie collection videos when people do full movie collection videos, because I like seeing what other people have, and if they have recommendations, then that's a good way to build up a your wish list, such as Q&A related stuff for Chronicles and promotional videos for both of them. They likely don't speak anymore since Landis was canceled. Oh, he was canceled? What did he do? The only tricky thing with Labyrinth is that it came out the same year as Top Gun, and Jennifer Connelly was 15 when that was made, like her character, yet Tom Cruise apparently. I tried watching Labyrinth recently, and I just couldn't even get into it because they just released this really cool 4K set on Scream Factory's website. Like a 4K box set for Labyrinth? I didn't hear about that. Went ballistic with her in Top Gun because she was in Maverick. Perhaps you would like seeing Jeremy on those shows. They debate various movie topics. Most of those were on from 2013, 2018 or so. Interesting. Yeah, I'll have to look into that. Yeah, because Jeremy Johns seems to have we seem to have like similar interests in movies that he tends to like, I tend to like, and movies he tends to not like, or movies I also sometimes tend to not like. So when I get my like, should I see this kind of movie, I usually will watch his reviews and see if did he like it. Did you hear about this one director who wants to redo the original Star Wars trilogy? Okay. No, I did not hear about that. That's not a good idea, though. I wouldn't recommend that. So do I like those kind of videos? Oh, so movie collection videos? Yeah, I have to do mine soon, too. My last collection video was from April of last year, and my collection has changed big time since then. I purged my collection 3 times last year. I ended up getting rid of a crap ton of movies, and I could probably even do another purge here, because I started clearing my collection out of movies that I know for certain I would never watch again. And yeah, I could probably still do that. There's probably still a few more movies in there I just didn't want to get rid of at the time that I could probably get rid of now. But yeah, I'm starting to get a little bit more stingy with my collection now. I'm only keeping things that I know I'll watch, and I'm really only buying movies that I know I will watch or I'm curious about seeing. My blind buying has gone down big time. I will send you a picture of it. Cool. I'm not certain, but he also did a movie trivia show many times on YouTube called Movie Trivia Schmackdown. The one that had many YouTubes and filmmakers and actors, etc. on it. Okay. I'll have to look into that. I don't think I've seen any of those movie trivia Smackdowns, but or Schmodowns. But yeah, I'll have to look into that. I like movie trivias and things like that. Those are fun. I enjoy watching your movie collection videos. Oh, thank you. Yeah, as of recently, a lot of indie movies have made their way into my collection. Because I don't know, I just think I personally am getting the feeling that a lot of indie creators are starting to outdo Hollywood. So, the most recent indie trilogy I just put into my collection was Terrifier. Because I only recently just watched those movies, but I liked them. I mean, they're basically just gore porn, but I enjoyed them. If you have any extra copies of Star Wars Episode 8 and 9, I don't think I do. Check with Dimension, though, because he might. Because the movies I ended up purging from my collection, I sent to him. And I know he had doubles of some of the movies I sent him. And I did send him the, I did send him some Star Wars movies that he already had. So maybe he might have some. Maybe he might have extras. But I got rid of pretty much all of the Disney Star Wars from my collection because I don't really like any of the Disney Star Wars. The only Disney Star Wars movies I ended up keeping were what is it? I can't think. It would be the 7th movie. Yeah, I'm my mind is so absent right now. I did end up keeping my Mandalorians, and because I actually did like the first 2 seasons of Mandalorian, and I haven't watched Solo. I still haven't watched Solo, so Solo's still in my collection because I don't want to get rid of it until I've seen it. Oh, I already clicked on that. Have you ever watched Pup Culture Cafe? Doesn't sound familiar. I don't think I have. Would you like to see a Terminator movie that begins in ancient China, where a giant Magus machine came up with the Skynet and intelligence way back, where they went through time? That might be interesting. When it comes to the Terminator movies, I have seen a few of them, but I really only care for the first 2. Any Terminator movie I've seen, I haven't really been a big fan of. Which is a shame, because Terminator is actually a very interesting concept. He's one of my favorite YouTubers. I've been on his channel twice, and he's been on one of my channels once. Cool. Yeah. All right, everyone. Well, I guess I am gonna get out of here. I still have to do laundry and everything. We do have one more. Did you keep that Rogue One? Oh, yes, I did, because I actually really do like Rogue One. Rogue One is probably my favorite Disney Star Wars movie. Well, I do want to thank you all for joining me and talking and learning a little bit about my book and talking a little bit about movies in my collection. Really do appreciate you all being here. And you all have a wonderful night. Thank you so much for being here. I'll do a quick movie call out to everyone who was in my chat. I have Acres of Movie, Blue Justin, Collector Movie Man, and we had Dimension Scott as well. Thank you all for being here, and have a wonderful night. Take care.